We are going to do crab on toast. So again, another signature in the restaurants, and it combines both parts of the crab. So we're using the white meat and the brown meat. I'm also going to try and take some of the fear away from breaking up a crab and show you exactly how it's all done. So this is our lovely native brown crab. It's very similar to the Dungeness crab that you have in the States also. These crabs have already been cooked. So to cook crabs, what I would normally do is I will put them in the freezer for about 20 minutes. That will sedate the crab. And then into a pot of really heavily salted water. Almost at seawater level is what you're looking for. What's also important is when you're letting the crabs cool down, let them cool down naturally, or else just with a little scoop of ice over the top of them. Don't plunge them into cold water. Once you plunge them in the water, you're washing away all of that salinity and all the brininess and all of the lovely flavors from the ocean. So try and keep them as dry as you can. For a crab about this size, it's about a 600-gram crab. It would take about 8 minutes, plus its cooling time of about another 15 minutes. This is now chilled. We're going to start off by turning the crab over onto its back. And we're going to take off each of the main arms, one like that, another one here. Okay. Next part is here. This is the little tail flap. So you just pull that back. Now I'm just going to leave that here to the side. And then this is the mouthpiece that we have here. Take this away. Take this away also. Almost like a bowling ball. If you put your fingers just in here, hold the crab and just pull back, the main body will come away. So I'm just going to pull that back like that. I'm just going to lay this to the side here for a moment. So this front part here is the mouth, so that can come away. And the brown that you see there, that's all part of the brown meat of the crab. So it's not like it's what it's been eating or anything else like that. This is the only part that we don't really eat in the crab other than the shell. And these are called the dead man's fingers. And it's actually the lungs that the crab uses. We take these away. The shell left here as well. Now, so that's the main body of our crab. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to slice this just down the center, like this. Okay, I'll pop this back over here. Now here we have our main head of the crab. The mouthpiece is actually held here, so just push in like that. Just give that a little pull. This will all come out. You see this little membrane in here. This can just come out also. Now, everything in here is edible. Just the membrane part it's not very tasty, so there's no need for it. So now I'm just going to scoop out the brown meat from inside the crab. This is all of this loveliness here. Now again, with the shells, you can retain all of these shells that we're not going to use for this dish. And again, it can go into with your prawn shells and make a beautiful bisque or a beautiful seafood soup, sauces, etc. So that's our brown meat. We're going to come back to that now in a minute. And this shell now is finished. We can get rid of this over here. The best white meat comes from these guys here, which are called crab toes or claws. And then through the rest of this here, so all of our legs here all contain loads of lovely crab meat. And also through all these little vessels that you see running here, these are all full of crab meat as well. So you need a little utensil like this to get in and start picking out all of the crab meat. It's quite a long task to kind of pick out all this lovely white crab meat like this, but with a glass of wine in your hand, time flies. Now, of course, you can use all of these instruments here, from your crackers to your hammers to your picks, but I'm just going to use a knife and the claw itself, so you don't need all the fancy paraphernalia. So I'm just going to break it at the hinge here, and then just with the back of my knife here, I'm just going to give a light little tap there, and that will break away this part here. If you pull this claw here, like this, pull it back, and there is our crab claw. You can continue doing that with all of the crab, and just trying your best not to get any shell in with the white crab meat. So no broken teeth at Christmas, ideally. You can also use this part of the crab here to pick out your crab if you haven't got a little picker, but a toothpick works really well as well. Yum. Now it's important to note that inside the crab claw here, there is one more piece of cartilage. So when you break it like this, you'll see there's one more little bit of bone just inside. Now, it's a whole piece. It's not like a little fish bone, but it's important to take that piece out as well. Now you can keep going and keep picking through all of the crab until you have nothing left and your bottle of wine is finished. So now to dress our brown meat, what we're going to use is some mayonnaise, and this here is a yuzu juice. So yuzu is like a Japanese grapefruit is the easiest way to describe it. It's got a beautiful citrus flavor. It's really, really well rounded. So we've just made up a little mayonnaise here. Now you can buy a store-bought mayonnaise and just spike it, or else you can make your own mayonnaise and then just use your yuzu with it. So this is all the brown meat which we just took out. And the reason I'm using the yuzu and the citrus and the mayonnaise with this is to kind of dull down the flavor. Brown meat has definitely got a stronger flavor than the white meat. Now it's delicious and it's very, very delicate, but with the mayonnaise, it gives you that lovely little balance. And when you're having it with a toast, it complements everything just so well. So take some of our brown meat. So I'm just gonna give it a really good mix. Let's break it down. And then we're gonna add in some of our yuzu mayonnaise. And give it a little spike of Tabasco. So this is the kind of texture we're looking for. Okay, so these are our 2 crab meats already. What's also important is that while doing everything else is to keep them in the fridge. Always with your seafood and your fish, cold fish is the best fish. And if you follow that principle, you'll always have good fish. So now we're going to toast off some lovely sourdough baguette, and we're going to toast it off in some clarified butter that we have here. So I've just melted that butter and 2 nice big thick chunks, and then into a warm pan. Now not a roasting hot pan because you don't want it to burn, so a nice low heat, and just let it caramelize on the pan. So while that's toasting, we can get on then with the rest of the preparation. So we've got a little cucumber here. The cucumber is great with crab because it's a lovely mild flavor, but it gives you that really nice texture in your mouth. So just want a couple of thin slices. Now if preparing it in advance, you should take the seeds out, but if you're going to be eating it within 20 minutes or so, you can leave the seeds in. Reason being is that the seeds will, the salt from the crab will draw all the moisture from the seeds and it'll be a little bit mushy. Just going to check that toast, yeah. So that's what we're looking for. Lovely and nice and caramelized golden brown. Yum. Okay. So we have our diced cucumber and we have our crab here. So I'm just going to break the crab up just a little bit. Add our cucumber. Now a little bit again of some chive and some chervil. Again, these aren't going in for color, they're going in for the flavor. A little crack of pepper. And a squeeze of lemon. Most unlemony lemon in the world. So that's our crab meat ready for our toast. Now some lovely hot buttery toast. We're going to put a nice dollop of our brown meat and our mayonnaise onto it. And now for our crab. Boom, and there we have it, crab on toast.